Let's see what's going on with Donald Trump. So for those that missed this, Donald Trump was doing a press briefing. All of a sudden, and this kind of freaks me out a little bit, the Secret Service whispers something. Trump leans over like, what is it? And they very slowly go about
it was a little,
evacuating.
It wasn't like he was rushed out. So he wasn't under threat, it feels like.
Duress.
Yeah, it wasn't that. He was like, all right, we'll go see what the situation is. He just kind of meandered out the room.
Yep.
And that's it. Just
but the
chill.
reporter's like, what's happening? What's happening?
He stopped talking mid-sentence.
Dude. And then I think the guy's, I can't remember the guy's name. Who was the guy's name? Is it from Fox? John Roberts? Was that who it was?
Oh, I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, Trump's like, you heard it right? It sounded like gunshots. And he's like, yes, 2 gunshots.
And he's like, oh,
okay.
good job. You did a fair reporting.
Yeah,
on
I
that.
saw your report.
I saw your report. Good job.
Trump was really chill.
Yeah, he was.
Like, he was just kind of like just chilling. He wasn't yelling at anybody. But then he went off on Obama. You know?
Well, he didn't like go off on him, but he simply kept his chill the whole time. They kept asking him like, "So were you rattled? Like, what happened?" He's like, "There will be a report. You know, I don't have all the information.
Do I look rattled?
Do I look rattled to you? Well, no.
Have you ever seen the video of when someone tried rushing his stage during a rally, and he like spins around really fast and like holding onto the podium?
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
People see what
whoa, there's something there.
People see what they want to see, man, and the left was like, oh, look, he's freaking out. And I'm like, somebody rushed the stage and his first reaction was to spin and address the threat. He didn't run, fall down.
Yeah.
Like he spun around to see what it was. Like it's a good reaction. And then here, when you have a report of like a shooting outside and the Secret Service is like, we have to go. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
You're like very chill about it. I mean, I got to admit, I'm kind of worried. Look, in the same briefing where he says, what did he say? Probably treason.
Yeah.
Because he's like floated that, you know, the crime, what do you call it? The political crime of the century.
That's what he said, that it was the political crime of the century of them spying on him. I mean, they've caught them red-handed. He said, we caught them red-handed. They were spying. Their campaign was spying on my campaign. And that's the whole reason Nixon got impeached.
The Watergate scandal.
Yeah, Watergate is because he was spying on the DNC. So this is literally them spying on Trump, trying to get him not elected, to try to stop him at all costs.
Yeah, well, what does all costs mean?
Who knows? Lying.
I mean,
and throw in Flynn under the bus.
Any means necessary or at all costs.
Yeah.
It has me worried. You know, I saw that, I don't know if you guys saw this, there was a video of Bill Barr, and he came out to a bunch of protesters. I think it was a Back the Blue
kind of scary
rally.
Though.
And he was like shaking hands and waving, and I'm like,
taking pictures. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But do you see the agents? They were right there.
Yeah.
They were like hawks looking around. They were probably nervous.
Kennedy had Secret Service, man, but he had the top down.
But it was also a parade. You know, they knew the route. I mean, you know, Barr was just driving. He's like, oh, that's a Back the Blue protest. Come on, well, let's circle back. Let me go say hi to him.
You know that people have tried in the past.
On Trump, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And we'll be careful with the language. That's why this is a crazy story.
Well, wait. 4 days, was it Thursday? He said, I have rich enemies.
Yep.
And they don't like what I'm doing, so you might not see me for a couple days.
But now he's back at the White House for the press briefing, and sure enough, what happens?
Yep.
Somebody, we don't know what happened yet.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Secret Service, we're like waiting for information. Guy gets shot. Apparently, they say he was the suspect was shot and taken to a local hospital. I think that's the only thing we have as of recording this video. So maybe tomorrow or we'll have more information on this. But for those that are watching live, we have this video. You can see the Secret Service came in, whispered to Trump. Trump he walks on out. It was very chill.
Yeah.
But that's probably the smartest thing he can do. I mean, if he ran out, people would be freaking out, get really crazy. But considering what he just said when he went to Ohio, he got rich enemies.
Yeah.
Then this happens. There was that story. I don't know if you remember this. Wasn't it like some dude showed up to one of his rallies and then tried grabbing the gun from a security guard or something?
Whoa.
When was that?
A couple of years ago, man.
I'll have to look it up.
So here's an update from the U.S. Secret Service about what happened. They say, update, the investigation into the officer-involved shooting is ongoing. A male subject, so we know it's a male, of the U.S. Secret Service officer were both transported to a local hospital.
Whoa.
So the Secret Service agent is being transported to the hospital also. That's new information to me, actually, also. At no time during this incident was the White House complex breached or were any protectees in danger. So I didn't know that a Secret Service agent was actually being sent to the hospital also.
That's from their Twitter account?
That's from the official U.S. Secret Service
man.
Twitter.
What if somebody Man, I don't want to speculate too much
So
on
yeah,
that.
that's
right?
that's all we know so far.
Were you able to find that story?
Yeah, it was from 2016. He was at a Las Vegas rally.
Yeah.
It looks like some dude tried to grab a gun
Man.
from one of the agents so he
for
could
the
kill the candidate.
Yep, for the specific purpose
Of,
of stopping Trump, man.
Yep.
So listen, Trump does got a lot of powerful enemies.
Yeah.
I've been having conversations that kind of freak me out because it's people I never expected to hear from telling me how much they love Trump. I'm not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating, man. Whenever I talk about this, invariably the left is like, Tim's lying and making these things up.
Yeah.
What they want me to do is force me to be like, here's the name of the person who hit me up and said, yo, they're voting for Trump or whatever.
Right.
Because they want to go after their careers. They want to threaten them. And there's a reason why these people are scared to speak up. But I've had shocking conversations, man.
Yep.
To put it mildly.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what really did it?
What?
The riots.
Yeah.
No joke.
I'm not surprised. The Democrats have openly said these aren't riots, these are peaceful protesters. As people burn down their cities, and the Democrats are like, turning a blind eye,
Or supporting it.
or worse, supporting it.
Yeah.
So we see that. Like Wheeler was walking around, standing in front of the
While
courthouse
they're
as
throwing
they
explosives.
attacked the courthouse, and he's like, "I see nothing. Nothing's wrong here."
This is what freaks me out, and we'll definitely come back to the riot stuff later. Is the idea of by any means necessary.
Right.
What have we seen over the past several years with Trump? First of all, before he even got elected,
Yep.
they were saying Russia, and then Trump gets elected, Russia. We get years of this very obviously fake, and now we're learning.
It's all nothing.
And this is what Trump was bringing up with Obama when he said Daily Mail says he accused Obama of treason, but I think you mentioned he said probably. Here we go. He says, look, the Obama campaign spied on our campaign and they've been caught. All right, now let's see what happens to them. But they have been caught. They have been caught red-handed. It's probably treason. It's a horrible thing that they did, and it probably never happened before. At least nobody got caught doing it. But they used the intelligence agencies of our country to spy on my campaign, and they have been caught. There are a lot of people involved, he said.
Oh, and then he goes on to listing a lot of those people, which I noticed they didn't actually list any of the names.
Joe Biden's potential VP.
He was dropping. Well, that's what the original question was about.
Exactly.
So the reporter had asked, what about, is it Susan Rice?
Yeah, Susan Rice.
So what about Susan Rice? That they're claiming that she would basically wipe clear any of this, the allegations when we have actual proof that this has happened. And he's like, I don't know anything about that specifically. And then he goes into that. That's the beginning of the quote here.
Everything they did to try and stop Trump.
Yep.
And it has me worried about how far whoever these, I don't know if it's Democrats or their corporate allies, the people who stand to lose money from these trade deals. Mm-hmm. Whatever the reason is, we got, Adam Schiff, for instance. He published private phone records of an American journalist. And he apparently won the court case. I guess Judicial Watch sued because, wow.
Yeah.
How can a U.S. government actor get private phone records of somebody and publish it? They're trying to smear John Solomon. He's a journalist. Mm-hmm. Everything they've done, Ukraine-gate, impeachment, they've been desperate to jam him up, shut him down, stop him. So when Trump comes out and says, I got enemies, man.
Yep.
He's got enemies politically, financially, ideologically.
Well, and the media has spun this whole Trump orange man bad thing for years now, that TDS is a real thing. So you get deranged people with full-on TDS, and they're blaming Trump for things that the Democrats are honestly more to blame for.
The official diagnosis is called Trump anxiety syndrome.
Oh, is that it?
It's legit real. Yeah. Well, I say legit real, but apparently there are some, psychiatrists diagnosing people with Trump anxiety syndrome.
So it's TAS.
Yeah. That's what they call it, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, Trump anxiety syndrome.
Wow.
So colloquially, people call it Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
But derangement is meant to be like a dig at them for being like, they're deranged. Whereas I agree with you. I agree with you. But a clinical diagnosis is going to be like the specific underlying cause. So the anxiety. Yeah, man. I saw a post from a friend of mine, and it said settle for Biden. And then it said it was a picture. It said Joe Biden, and it was like not going to bring about any progressive policy. And it said Trump evil.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, the only people who think Trump is evil are the people who don't actually research anything.
Exactly.
Because I think the most honest place a liberal would come when it comes to an assessment of Trump is he's gross, he cheated on his wife, I don't like his policy ideas, I find him disagreeable or unprofessional, but evil?
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's not
now,
evil.
To be fair, you know,
It's ridiculous.
I think where we are, there's still a similar position we're in, because I look at Biden and I'm like, I don't know. I kind of think Biden is evil.
That's a good point. I mean,
You know,
I've
so
seen
it's rough. I'm
enough
biased, you
videos
know?
of him sniffing kids and like not letting them go, like holding them and being like a weird, like, and then talking about kids on his lap and like just weird, creepy things that he says about children, and it's disgusting.
Beyond that, I would actually clarify and say it's not so much that Biden himself is, but the Obama administration was definitely.
Oh, I'm saying it.
For sure.
That Biden is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The reason I bring it up
something
is
wrong with him.
Well, evil though, right? So
Sure. I mean, you look at his past policies about, you know, basically being for segregation and the crime bill that calling people animals that that can't be, you know, they can't come back into society because they're just animals and they need to be locked away. And it's just like, those are his words.
You see what Hotep Jesus tweeted?
What did he say?
He said, the hate for Trump is so real, Biden can say anything about black people and get away with it.
I mean, it's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was just like, man, that is the truest statement I've ever seen. He nailed it. Joe Biden is, you know, Donald Trump's really chilled out.
He is.
You know, I remember like one of the things I personally didn't like was I find it funny when he makes fun of Rosie O'Donnell and when he says these things. I do not consider it presidential.
I agree.
But he hasn't been doing that.
Because he's becoming a president. He wanted to be president for a long time.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when he finally became president, he was trying to do all these things, and he realized how to get the changes that he wanted. He needed to go about them differently. So now that the Trump that we're seeing is becoming President Trump. So the next 4 years, you're going to see an even cooler, calculating person.
Yeah.
He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He's got a clear head. He's calm and collected. He knows what he's doing.
He's spent, you know, now 4 years going through the ropes of the legalities,
Yep.
the Office of Legal Counsel and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Do you know about that dude in California is a big Democratic donor and they keep finding dead overdose dudes at his house?
Wow, no.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Ed Buck, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, there's creepy goings on, man,
Yeah.
over on that side. And you know, when I hear about stories like that, when I hear about Biden's history, but even outside of these things, it's like the Obama administration did a bunch of really, really terrifying things. And that's why it's weird to me that progressives are settling for Biden. I don't believe it. I really don't.
I don't believe it either.
Because I remember during the Obama administration, all the progressives, look, when the RNC happened in 2016, there were very few protesters, if any.
Yeah.
But the DNC had 1,000, 2,000.
What's the definition of a progressive?
I guess, man, it's hard to clearly define. It's a reference to getting rid of cultural norms and advancing society.
Okay.
Progression. It's typically associated with a movement away from tradition towards new cultural ideas and new ways of doing things.
Okay, so there's a positive part about it and a negative part about it.
Well, it's neither.
Okay, I could see
so,
that. Yeah.
In the past, the progressives were the pro-eugenics party.
Okay.
And they abandoned that principle as part of, you know, whatever their movement is. So it changes. That's why I say it's hard to accurately define. And then what does conservative even mean? I think it's interesting when I see people like conservatives say liberalism is a mental disorder, or that, you know, liberalism is a problem. And I'm like, no. Classical liberalism is the foundation of this country.
Yeah.
I get it, though. What liberal became as a word, you know, as we define it in this country, is something else.
Agreed.
So I look at, you know, it's kind of like a gradient between regular Democrats, default liberal types, all the way to the far left. And the biggest areas are, we have the far left that hates Joe Biden. I do not believe they will vote for him. But then you have these pseudo-progressive Democrat types who just wave the flag, like they wave the banner. They have no idea what's going on, and they call Trump evil. They don't do any research, and they're really hard to talk to.
They just pass memes along. Like, this meme shows all of my hatred in facts that I believe.
Oh, my favorite are like
facts.
I've been seeing it over and over again. Why don't we just put homeless people in houses? God. It's like, hey. Why don't we just give people food? It's like, that's a great question. Why don't we? Where is it?
Yeah, where does it come from? Who
when
does the work to get it to you?
When I try explaining to people, like, if you put a homeless person in a house, then what do you do? Like, there's a much more comprehensive program that has to go into housing people who are unwell and, you know, mentally ill or unable to work or you know, refuse to.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. To them, the answer is as simple as hit the button, boom, problem solved. Scarcity isn't real, they say. I kid you not.
So TDS is real. TAS.
TAS, Trump anxiety syndrome, I think.
Trump anxiety.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to this Trump being escorted off before we move on.
Yeah.
Robert said he heard 2 shots.
Yep.
So and now we'd found out from the Secret Service that 2 people are being rushed. So maybe the guy shot at a Secret Service agent and they shot back.
Yep. Maybe he was. I don't know, man. I don't want to speculate because there's a lot I could say.
Right. Well, I mean, there's a little bit of speculation that we have to do because we don't know everything, but we do know that, you know, someone got shot.
Yep.
And now we found out that a Secret Service agent is also heading to the hospital, and we know there was 2 shots that were heard.
So it may have been.
So it's
bang
like they
and
probably
bang
shot
back.
at each other. Both got hit. Who knows how badly?
Right now, there was a Twitter trend that said "interrupt Trump,"
Okay.
where the goal was to interrupt his press briefing somehow,
Interesting.
and then all of a sudden, shooting outside the White House. Yup, that's crazy, right?
Yeah. Where does that from?
I don't know. You're on Twitter, right? You can pull it up.
Yeah. Where do I look?
In the trends, hashtag interrupt Trump
Wow.
was
Let's check it out.
Yeah, was popping up quite a bit. I don't know. You know, I say I don't know, but what I really want to say is I got a bunch of ideas, but I'm being very careful not to speculate too much because we're dealing with a very, very serious matter about the risk to the president.
Yeah.
I'm really worried for Bill Barr. Did you see his interview with Mark Levin on Fox News?
I did, yeah.
The things he was saying, I'm like, man.
I know. Well,
utopianists, the Democrats.
Trump said that he's seen the Durham report, and he said it's breathtaking. So we know. I mean, and he goes on to label some of these people that he said were probably committing treason, you know. So and he lists a few people, like at least six names, including Obama's and Biden's, and then he goes on to a few others, and it's just like, oof. He kind of giggles a little bit when he says Comey because I think.
Yep.
You should hear. Did you hear it? The little giggle in his voice.
No.
He was like, "And Comey,"
because he's probably not a fan of that guy.
He's probably the center of it all.
Man, I kind of been feeling like when the mayor of LA said he was going to send utilities, company to shut off your power and water if you assemble. I'm like, that's
Craziness.
it. There's no constitution anymore.
For them, no. The Democrats, they don't.
No, for anybody.
They don't care.
For anybody. You could be a Republican in LA and they could come shut off your water and who's going to, the cops were standing there with him.
That's a good point.
They're going to do what he says. That freaks me out, man. Will these cops just walk up and shut your water? Well, not the cops themselves, it's the utility company. But are the cops going to allow this violation of human rights, violation of the Constitution? Apparently so. They're breaking these parties up.
Wow.
Look what they're doing in Chicago. The mayor, while these riots are going on, she's been spending all her time complaining about people having parties on the beach and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like you're allowed to assemble, period. End of story. First Amendment says it.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you to send in cops? And who are these cops to go out there and enforce it? Speaking of that, do you see that video from, I think it's from Adelaide or whatever, Australia? The cop choking the woman or something?
Dude, Australia is nuts. Well, I guess it's Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah, they're really cracking down there, and it's
I don't know
authoritarian, crazy, man.
Yep.
So I want to just get back to this. Like,
right.
I just checked out this Interrupt Trump. There's like a video of the officers like collecting the person that got shot.
Let me see if I can pull
I'm
it
looking
up.
at it, and they're just kind of outside of the White House on the corner. And they kind of zoom in and there's a bunch of cops surrounding it. It's like
From the Interrupt Trump hashtag?
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
I cannot find it.
Go down a little further.
A little further, huh?
There it is.
Here it is. Okay, so it looks like we got footage. You sure this is the right one?
That's the one I'm looking at. I mean, it looks like the White House is behind it.
So it's hard to really see what's going on. The police have blocked off the area, but they zoom and it looks like someone's providing first aid.
Mm-hmm. Can't really see it too well, but
yeah. It's probably better we can't because YouTube would nuke us if we actually had.
Good
it's
call.
just people standing around. YouTube, calm down.
Yep, that's all it is.
I mean,
Just
literally.
just a little context
Yeah.
for our story here.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah.
And they put hashtag Trump is racist in there. It's like, dude, you got video footage of like an emergency response for people being rushed to the hospital. Chill out,
Mm-hmm.
This has got me worried, man.
Well, I guess I'm looking at through these, and it's about stopping him from being able to lie to the public. And it's like, I've been listening to his stuff, and then I cross-reference with what's actually going on.
Yep.
I follow the news myself, so I'm listening to him and going, yes, this is correct information. And then I'm watching the news media twist it and say, that's fake.
Nonstop.
Here's the fake stuff that we're talking about, and it's more of this fake stuff because I'm reading the actual bills. I'm seeing the actual stuff happening with eyewitness reports.
You see what the media did to me?
What? Oh, yeah. Well, I was in here when you were having that stupid conversation.
Yeah. So I'll keep this quick because I don't have anything pulled up, but I tweeted that Bill Clinton was recorded in flight logs, and now he's been ID'd by a victim as being on, the island, Epstein Island.
Yep.
And I said, this is not, there's no one cover. It's not a major headline story. Journalism died a long time ago. News organizations are just political advocacy groups. A fact checker saw it on Facebook and rated it false. And now on Facebook, this tweet of mine appears with a flag that says false information. When you go there, the article actually confirms everything I said is true. Fact. Bill Clinton was in flight logs 26 times.
Yeah.
Fact. Roberts, Virginia Giuffre Roberts, in release documents did say he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they do? They added something to my tweet I didn't say. That the flight logs were to the island. I never said that.
Nope.
The point I was making in my tweet was that he was connected to this individual through flight logs, and now he's been ID'd as having been on the island. This should be a major story. He's a former president of the United States, Bill Clinton.
Yep.
So I call the guy, and he's like, "You got to submit an appeal. You got to go through a process." I'm like, "No, I'm not doing any of that." And I asked him. I said, "Is Bill Clinton recorded in flight logs?" That's what I said. He goes, "Yes." I said, "Okay. Did a witness ID him in documents?" Yes. Okay. Is journalism being dead an opinion? Yes. Is me saying news organizations are political advocacy groups an opinion? Thank you. So you've confirmed that my tweet is factually correct in every way. Why would you put this label on it?
Yeah.
That's the game.
That's it.
The game they play is if you say something that goes against their orthodoxy, they will add something to it. Right now, Adam is wearing a gray beanie and a white shirt. Let's do a fact check in the style of how Facebook plays the game. Claim Adam Krigler was seen wearing a gray beanie and a white shirt, and he had a small little stain on the side of his mouth. False. Not true. Then all at the bottom it says, well, it is true that Adam Krigler was wearing a gray beanie and a white shirt. Mm-hmm. No one ever said that he was actually having a stain on his mouth. They add something that has nothing to do with anything. That way they can claim it's false. That's what they did.
Do I have a stain on
No, I was making something up.
Some sort of stain.
But that was the point. Yeah. I never said in my tweet that the logs showed him going to the island.
Yeah.
I was trying to make a point about the connections, and now we have the documents released.
Mm-hmm.
They added this. They put hoax alert. Was Bill Clinton logged in a book flying to Epstein? I never said that. So how now Facebook is de-ranking the content as fake news when it's real, legit information. I get these news organizations trying to knock me down. That's the danger of the game we're playing.
Yep.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.